Hello everyone. You are listening to this audiobook on channel Voice of Purpose by NSS IIT Bombay.
Feminism, by definition, is the theory of the political, economic, and social equality of the sexes. In no way, form, or mean does that imply that feminists hate men. Misandry is the counterpart of misogyny and means prejudice against men. Many a times in life and on the internet, we meet people who equate being a feminist to someone who hates men. Undeniably, there are feminists who practice misandry. However, the takeaway point here is that you cannot be a feminist if you don't believe that every gender, including men, deserves equal rights. Feminists believe that we as a society need to dismantle patriarchy for women to truly achieve equality. However, this does not mean that we topple the current system to bring a new order like matriarchy. The goal is simply to have no one living a privileged life at the expense of a subservient gender. This is the difference between a feminist and a misandrist. Patriarchy affects both men and women. It tells women that they need a husband to survive, men that they should be strong and authoritative, and queer people to not exist. It is a structure that weakens each one of its members, and yet we uphold it. Recently, there was a comment on an Instagram post about how all the feminists want is equality. The comment equated gender roles to roles in a company where the CEO and employees are not equal. It went on to point out that our roles made us unique. First of all, in a country like ours, dignity of labor does not exist. We tend to not give people with blue-collar jobs or anyone below our own ranks the respect they deserve. That is on us. Second, the comment is a view that is shared across all classes by a huge majority of our population. Who will stay at home and watch the kids? The answer to that is whichever parent is free. Wanting that is not an attack on men. Misandry cannot be equated to misogyny, even though they both have similar meanings. Until men as a gender are subjected to structural inequality that discriminates against them, it is not the same. Some women may hate men, but that is where it ends most of the time. We are not ignoring atrocities faced by men, but on a whole, women are the ones clutching their lives when they are out alone in the night. Just by calling yourself a feminist, you are subjected to infinite eye rolls, which makes a huge number of people steer clear of the term. You have to deal with accusations that you care only about women, when the fact is that every day you hear a story which is inherently grotesque of how women are treated that inevitably becomes what you raise your voice for. Misandry has always existed. An anti-male bias has developed in some people as a reaction to the atrocities faced by women. This is represented by only a handful of people. Pseudo-feminism is the callous rebranding of women who speak up in a way that's distasteful for the majority. Again, this is not to ignore the misconstructed understanding of feminism by many. We are not here to pass judgment, but to work towards a change in societal structure where women are not made to feel guilty about being ambitious and not taking care of a family, and men are not shamed if they want to do exactly that. Being feminist has nothing to do with sexual orientation or discrimination of the male gender. Feminists come from all different backgrounds and cultures to support equality and equity in general. Also, feminists not only believe in equality between men and women, but also in equality between every gender, class, race, and sexual orientation. Feminism is historically a multicultural cause. Today's feminist activists are women and men of all walks of life who seek to combat racism, sexism, classism, ageism, etc. Feminism does not just liberate women, it also liberates men by breaking down the standards which society has put in place for both women and men. Men are taught in this society to be macho, emotionless leaders and to never show weaknesses, such as being sad and therefore crying as a result of that sadness. These socially constructed rules cause men to be socially confined. Feminism says that it's okay for men to show weakness, be followers, and to show their emotions. A movement of powerful women is seen as threatening, reflecting that the media creates negative stereotypes of these powerful women. A related reason is a lot of people just don't like being labeled. They say, "Don't put me in a box," and have a defensive reaction to the idea of calling themselves a feminist. Others think that women's movement is a political relic, and that kind of thinking becomes a useful tool for the patriarchy. And it's harder to accept that there's structural inequality. It gets upsetting and disturbing in the same way that people deny personal problems. Feminism is fundamentally about giving women choices, not about finding new ways to limit their self-expression, provided that women recognize that the choice to act in a traditionally feminine manner is just that, a choice. It is entirely acceptable and even quite common within the feminist movement.
So hope you guys had fun. Please like, share and subscribe to this channel for more interesting audiobooks.